So, I don't know if it comes as some surprise, but I don't take drugs. And I wanted to just make a comment on um, substance use when it comes to like spirituality and stuff. Um, I don't know all like the terms and stuff. I've only really smoked weed occasionally in my lifetime, and I found that like every time I did, I got really paranoid. And I've heard many people say like maybe I had too much or whatever, but it seems like any amount I've ever had always. I mean, the fall of it is fine, but like the 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 uptick, the initial reaction, no good. So I don't know. I'm not familiar with like acid or LSD or DMT or any of that stuff, but I'm I've heard numerous testimonies about people who say that they've had a spiritual experience through substance use. And I would suspect that you're gonna, if you take drugs and you chemically change your brain, you're going to experience some fucked up things. It's kind of like if you're riding a roller coaster without a seatbelt, I would imagine. Because these people will say or they'll claim that they dropped acid or they took DMT or whatever that is. They'll take that and they'll be like, yeah, and then I saw like the fifth dimension and I spoke with the origin of the universe and it was beautiful and there was the interdimensional beings. And so it's like you want to believe that what they're saying is accurate, but it's like I can't help but suspect that with substance assistance, while some things that you could witness may be spiritually valid and not just, shifting of your brain, for the most part, I think that taking drugs in order to assist you on a spiritual journey is not the best way to do it. It's like you're being thrown into something for which you're not prepared, and you're sort of going in through the back. You're sort of going in through the sneaky way, through the underground tunnel. In other words, you're not prepared for what you may witness. So a lot of times coming out of these drug-induced experiences, people will just be so caught up in the awe of it that they're like a kid in a candy store. Like they're just so caught up in the awe that they miss really the message of it. And they might say, well, no, I actually got the message, I got like unity and all this stuff. But you can tell just by the way that they like communicate this message that they maybe didn't understand it. So I would highly discourage substance use when it comes to spiritual connection. I'm not saying that I'm some prudish like Puritan person who just thinks that I gotta stick up my butt and I don't think people should have fun and recreation. By all means, safely, responsibly knock yourself out if that's what you gotta do. But the idea that these high spiritual truths, these sort of like underlying current of spiritual truth which runs through this world, could just be accessed through some kind of trap door, like take this pill or take this tab and suddenly you're there. To me, that's uncomfortable. Not just because of the sort of fantastic, like weird, strange experiences that I've heard people had, but just the idea that from that experience you don't really derive a whole lot. You'll see a lot of cool shit, but you won't like really understand the cool shit. I think it is far and away better to do it the proper way, to do it the effective way, the more fruitful way, which is through self-reflection, prayer, meditation, practice, things like that. I don't think there's any reason to try to expedite that by taking substances. And I think much would be missed if your experience was completely laced in your brain just being inhibited, rather than enhanced. So that's my opinion on like substances and drug-induced spirituality and stuff. Like I said, morally speaking, it's kind of neutral. It's self-imposed, as long as you're not harming yourself or anyone else. I see it as relatively morally neutral, as long as it's done responsibly. But it's kind of useless. It doesn't seem to bear the fruit that it ought to bear. So that's my 2 cents.